conservation of mass and the laws of motion and the different Newton's laws, right? But now let us see all these substances or all these particles involving or they are spending their energy, right? The forces what they are exerting between the other objects, that is equals to the energy or the work that is related. Let us see the new terms, that is work, energy, power, and let us see, of course we see them as having the similar meaning, right? But let us describe them and define them clearly and state them what is work and what is energy and what is power, right? Now let us see, for example, let us take animals, right? Animals itself also will be doing some work, right? They will be jumping from one tree to trees, that is monkeys and all. They will be searching in search of their food. They will be going away, right? In some machines, if you observe, they will be taking diesel or petrol, right, as their consumption. And in some cases, electricity, the power as the consumption for the machines, right? And at the same time, we ourselves take food in order to get energy or in order to get the sustainability, in order to do some activity, right? Therefore, all these examples will be related in such a way that every person or every living thing is involved in an activity in order to do or in order to perform a certain task which is their result, right? Therefore, we can say that in spite of anything, that means without our sensation or without knowingly or unknowingly, we will be involved in the activity. Suppose I am speaking, right? This is the work done by me, right, at present. Like that, I am holding the pen at the simultaneously, I am doing this one also. That means unknowingly or knowingly, we will be doing some activities, and those activities are called as the work what we have done, right? Breathing. This is also one activity done by us. It is also related to the term work, right? And at the same time, let us see the definition of work in science. According to science, the work is defined as, let us see, not much work in spite of working hard. Let us see this statement, that is not much work in spite of working hard means, I want to say the difference between the work and working hard. Let us see one Ruba or any person, the student, she is trying very hard or working very hard to prepare for exams in order to score a well marks, right? But in her process of getting success in her exams, she is trying so many, right? That is, she is attending the classes, at the same time she is practicing at home, and at the same time she is doing many activities related to that subjects, and she is noting down the points and she is recollecting them and she is studying them continuously in spite of 10 hours a day, and such a way she is preparing herself in order to get a good result in the exam, right? Therefore, she is discussing her problems with the friends and she is asking the notes with the faculties, and she is involving in many activities, and at final she got a 100% result. That means she has done a hard work. That means she has spent work. See, the hard work itself involves a small amounts of works. That means study. This single part of work. Studying for 10 hours means work plus work. For 10 hours of work, it is resulting into hard work, right? And at the same time, for example, let us take another person who is pushing a great hill, right? He is trying to push the Himalayas or any mountains or Mount Everest. Let us assume that the person is trying to push it. Is it possible for him? Even if he struggle or even if he keep much effort from morning to evening or a day to day or any week or any years or how many days he spent in pushing the hill, will it be possible? No, because he can't even push the Himalayas or Mount Everest at least a single step forward, right? Therefore, we can say that the work what he did is not considered as a work in science. I hope you understood. That means he did not get any result. He failed in his result. Therefore, this is said work is not done. That means he has not reached his destination. Therefore, the work is not done. But he had spent the work. He has spent his energy and efforts, but the work is not done in this case. And at the same time, we have different aspects regarding the work in science. Let us see all the terms related to it. Let us see one more example, that is, if you keep a heavy load on your head and when you stand for a day or for 2 hours, 3 hours, then you will be feeling that you are bearing an unbearable weight on your head, right? That means you are keeping some energy or you are wasting some energy in bearing that weight, right? But according to the science, you have not done any work. That means you have not done any useful work which is related to that, but you are just standing by carrying that, right? And let us take one more example, that is when you step on a staircase. That means when you go on a staircase, that means you are going from first floor to third floor by on staircase, then you are doing some work. That means you are making yourself to move from one place to other place by keeping some force and by wasting some energy of yours, and you are reaching some destination, right? That means it is making itself into a useful work, right? Therefore, we can say that this can be related as the work according to science. And let us see one more example, like when we humming a tune like this, when you are singing a songs like, and when you are playing in a field, or when you are visiting any party, or when you are doing any celebrations, or else you are talking with your friends, chatting, everything, all these, or you are watching a movie, all these are some works, right? But these are not exactly meant as works according to science, because sometimes these all things might be as considered as not useful works. That means it is not producing anything that is the best from those. Therefore, the work done is defined or dependent upon the person who is seeing that. How a person viewing some work, that will be compared along with. Therefore, we can say that according to science, the work is done when these three terms are considered. That is, what is work being done, and what is happening to object, and what is doing the work. That means what's the work done, and what is happening to that object, and who is doing that. These three aspects are considered in terms of work in science. Therefore, we can say that the scientific conception of work. Let us see how science gives a predication or definition of work. That is, when according to science, how we view a work, it is as that it will be a useful work or not useful work, right? Now let us see an activity, that is when you push a pebble. Pebble means you know the small stones, colorful stones when you will be finding at seashore, right? They are not a big size, small size, then they are said to be as pebbles. Let us assume that, let us do an activity in order to define the work according to science, right? That is, let us take a pebble. That is, these are the pebbles which are in small, similar to stones of different colors. And when we take one pebble, suppose with the help of your fingertip, when you push one pebble, see, it has moved from this place to that place. That means we have exerted some pressure or some force with the help of your finger on the pebble, right? And this force related to the change in the position of the pebble from one place to other. That means there is a displacement between final and initial positions, right? That means the pebble is changing from one place to other. That means it is traveling a distance, right? So this is said to be known as work in as respect to science. That is why, because some useful work has been done, right? Because the force is exerted on the pebble, and at the same time the resultant of that work, it is moved from one place to other. So according to science, that is, it is said to be as work. And let us take one more example, like a girl is pulling a trolley, right? She is pulling up to a certain distance. That means she had kept her force or energy in order to pull the trolley for a certain distance, right? Therefore, the trolley had moved from one place to other, and at the same time the distance covered is different, and at the same time she kept an external force pull that trolley, right? Therefore, it is known as work with respect to science. That means a force which is resulting in the form of displacement of a certain object, right? Now let us see one more example. Let us lift, of course, let us lift a book or lift a stick. Right, from here to here I lifted this. That means I am exerting a force on the stick and it is moving its position, right? Therefore, this is also a work. Now bullock cart. The ox will be pulling the bullock cart, right? Is this a useful work? Yes, because the ox is exerting a force to move that cart, and at the same time the cart is moving, right? That is also a useful work. Now let us see the definition or the real terms which are related to work according to science. That is, when a force is exhibited on an object and there is a certain change in the displacement or the direction of the object, then it is said to be a work. Therefore, work done by a constant force. Let us calculate the work, that is the work done by a constant. When you apply a constant force on an object, that means no change in the effort or force what you are keeping on the stone, right? Then we will be saying that the work will be the product of force and displacement, right? Therefore, we can say but the force units will be Newton, right? And for distance or displacement it is meters. Therefore, we can say the units of work are Newton meter, right? Therefore, the SI units of work done is joule and it is represented as J. This is very important units, right? Please remember, because the joule, the scientists who have discovered the terms related to work, so therefore the joule has given for the work as a unit, and the joule's constant will be also there. Further we will be learning it. And let us see one example or how to calculate the work done. That is, we have kept a wooden block on the table and we have exerted with a force of 5 newtons and it moved a distance of 2 meters and it reached the final position, right? Now what will be the work done? Let us calculate it. The work done equals to the product of force and distance, right? Therefore we can say 5 newtons into